everyone. So we're going to discuss about the self, society, and culture. So first, what is the self? The self is contemporary literature and even common sense. It is commonly defined by the following characteristic: separate, self-contained, independent, consistent, unitary, and private. This is according to Steven, 1996. First is separate. Means that the self is distinct from other selves, which means the self is always unique and has its own identity. One cannot be another person, even twins are distinct from each other. Second, self is also contained and independent because in itself it can exist. Its distinctness allows it to be self-contained, with its own thoughts, characteristic, and volition. It does not require other self for it to exist. It is consistent because it has a personality that is enduring and therefore can be expected to persist for quite some time. Its consistency allows it to be studied, described, and measured. Consistency also means that a particular self-traits, characteristic, tendencies, and potentialities are more or less the same.
Next is self is unitary, in that it is the center of all experiences and thoughts that run through uncertain in person. Self is like the chief command, passed in an individual where all processes, emotion, and thoughts converge. Finally, self is private. Each person sorts out information, feelings, and emotion, and thought processes within the self. This process is never accessible to anyone but the self. These last characteristics of the self, being private, suggests that the self is isolated from the external world.
Self-society have a very close relationship. Society has a custom and regulation and certain rules that people need to follow. Self also can have these traits, and this is why they are similar to each other. Self can be contribute to society, and society can contribute to self. For example, Bia is a college instructor. Via is a wife. Bia is a mother, a friend. As a human of different rules, one can be expect Bia to change and adjust his behavior, ways, and even language depending on his social situation. Bia, there is no society which does not based on human being, because society is not a biologically extraneous phenomenon, and the society and must be shaped by activities of every individual. Parang example ko rin dito is si Clara. Si Clara kasi is laki siya sa ibang lugar, parang sa palanan, tas hindi siya nasanay sa lokohan, ganun. Tas masyado siyang sensitive, ganun. Konting sabihin mo lang is iiyak na siya, ganun. Pero dahil sa society, dahil siya sa pakikitungo, ganun, nasanay na siya sa mga biruan, ganun, hanggang na-adapt niya na rin ito. Kasi dati is mahiyain siya, hindi siya nakikisama. Pero nung sumama siya sa amin, nawala yung hiya niya, ganun. Parang na-adapt niya yung kung ano yung nakasanayan namin dito. Kasi yung kanya doon sa kanila, hindi ganun. Parang magkaiba. Ganun po ang society.
The self and culture. According to Marcel Mauss, the French anthropologist, every self has two faces. We have personne and moi. Moi refers to a person's sense of who he is, his body, and his basic identity. We have personne. Personne has much to do with what it means to live in a particular institution, family, religion, nationality, and how to behave given the expectation and influences from others. And language is another interesting aspect of the social constructivism. It is a silent part of a culture and ultimately has a tremendous effect. Tremendous means a great effect in our crafting of the self. For Mead and Vygotsky, the way that human person develop is with the use of language acquisition and interaction with others. Both Vygotsky and Mead treat the human mind as something that is made constituted through language as experienced in the external world and encountered in dialogue with others. It shaped ourselves, the culture, family, and social force because as a Filipino, we use the proper term and etiquette which is doing manu po to elders that describe as a sign of respect, and by using the po and opo, we adopt the culture and practice of the Filipino as like our parents that taught us the proper discipline of self. For our family, it shaped ourselves as an eldest sister of a family like me. It helped us to have a responsibility in doing tasks. Social force shaped us as a mature person. At dito naman pumapasok yung sinasabing moy because time goes by, our appearance change and our interaction to other people also change as well. If a self is born into a particular society and culture, the self will have to adjust according to its exposure.